Good morning again. Everything's going well today? Everybody excited? Awesome. Nothing happens by accident. And I display up here a picture we took this morning of the very able and the very capable Impact staff that just do an incredible job. From the online registration to the incredible exhibit hall we had this year. I mean, was that incredible or what? The products and services offered. You know, the training that's provided, the expertise. Keep in mind that everybody in that picture, and many that aren't pictured, work every day either through a straight line or a dotted line to connect themselves with iron worker jobs, work hours. They're to be applauded. Thank you so much. They're an incredible staff. And just as a quick housekeeping note, that exhibit hall is going to be open until 1:30 tomorrow, so if you need anything from the store or one of the vendors, make sure you get over there before 1:30 tomorrow when it breaks down. Truly, you know, I'm so blessed to have people that are dedicated and capable, and they're the type of people that if they see the ball laying on the ground, they pick it up and run towards the goal line. And they're, you know what, they're the only ironworkers we have on the staff are the regional directors, and those guys are road warriors. They're sitting right over here. If you guys would stand up, Jimmy, Bert, Zach, and Mark Thomas. That's about 200 nights in a hotel room a year. Sounds glamorous until you hit the Holiday Inn in some remote village somewhere. They're driven. And their task is different than any other task. I keep telling them you're salesmen, you're priest, you're preacher, you're Mr. Fix-It, and you're a shoulder to cry on sometimes, but the fact of the matter is, those guys are the guys that deliver the products and services from Impact to you every day. That's why this room is filled. That's why we have over 1,100 at this conference. It's because there's value here. And you know, there's a lot of distractions here at Disney, let's face it. You can go out and you can play golf and you can go to the many spectacular parks, but the people in this room are serious about growing their organization and serious about putting more iron workers to work, improving their bottom line. It's going to be 81 degrees out there and sunny. Those that stay are here to learn the lesson of how to grow your business. And I applaud you for that, your dedication. Who recognizes this picture? Anybody? How did most of you get to Orlando in the last couple of days? By flying. I would ask that you take an out-of-body experience right now, keeping in mind your organization back at home, where you do business, where your local union resides, and stand there on that windy, blustery December day at Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, where Orville and Wilbur Wright flipped a coin to see who the first man would be to fly a heavier-than-air machine. It took flight that day. And what made it fly? We can talk about the physics, but I'm not a physicist. I'll tell you what made it fly. Unflinching and unquenchable thirst for success. You know, a lot of people in this room and outside this room have looked at Impact and said, why are you doing this stuff? This is not going to work. I got news for you, it works. The Wright brothers were scoffed in every major newspaper around the world, from Paris to London to New York to Washington to Detroit to San Francisco, even their own home newspaper. The internet of the day was a newspaper. No one Googled anything back then. They laughed at them and mocked them. but they had the fortitude to run with it, even in the face of bodily injury. There was a time when they went to Kill Devil Hills, and they went there many times to test their machines, where the mosquitoes were so bad they could only sleep in their sleeping bags with their noses exposed. Did that stop them? Hell no. Every day. I work with a lot of iron workers. I admire them. They're tough. They're determined. I got an email this week from one of my mentors in the business, Dr. John Lund. He was professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and he now works in the Pacific Northwest. And he said, I met with a bunch of iron workers in Alaska this week. You know what his quote was? What a motivated bunch. Incredible. That's why we're here. We're motivated for success like the Wright brothers. People may scoff us. People may say that we're trapped in a time warp. We're not. This proves it. We focus on safety because, as General President Dean and Bill Brown said, injuries are not acceptable. We take measures to do things that others are not doing it. Not because it's popular, because it's the right thing to do. And you can see that picture of Walton, Bill, and C.C. Weldon signing that agreement with STSC. We have over 500 iron workers that carry that accreditation. That deserves a round of applause. My friends, our tactics work. Do we have to have a strategy? Yes, of course. Every day of every week, you have to be motivated by a mindset that you have a brave, audacious goal in mind. But to fill that strategy, you must have tactics. And I'm very, very proud to report that the things that we do create those work opportunities that we all desire. The fact of the matter is, I stood here last year and I said, our goal's 2 million man-hours. We're not there yet. That was in the Gulf Coast. We're not there yet. But we're getting there because the pivot that we have made is leading us. And these are indefatigable, undeniable facts backed up by numbers that are generated that we will show to anybody on the face of the earth. I want everybody to be successful. They follow our template, whether it's iron worker, contractor, or even another organization, they'll be successful. That's a guarantee. You go to General President Dean, Bill Brown, myself, many in this audience, through Impact Go, and we engage the industry on a wide scale. This statistic up here is what they see. 52% of firms are worried about a worker shortage this year, right now, as we speak. Our message is simple. We're right here in front of you. We have the means and methods of recruiting, training, and delivering those highly safe, highly skilled workers to the job site. All sales are face-to-face. We can do all the commercials we want, and I love it. We can print all the great glossy binders and folders and postcards and send them out, and I love that too. But the fact of the matter is, the way you gain the real credibility is situations where General President Dean or Bill Brown or the small contingent of iron workers, we go out into the industry, to the Construction Users Roundtable, to the Construction Industry Institute, and many, many others. Louisiana Chemical Council. And we talk to them eye to eye, and we build that credibility. And I could stand up here and tell many, many anecdotes about our successes. See me afterwards. I'd love to talk to you. If you don't know how to do it, we will show you how to do it. If you don't have the confidence to reach out to do that, Because you say, I'm not trained as a salesman. I got news for you. We're all salesmen. And if you don't have that confidence, engage with us. Right here is a picture of the cover of the Voice magazine. It's published by the Construction Users Roundtable. On the cover, albeit it's not a dominating cover, but that second little hexagon there has a picture of our outstanding training director, Lee Worley, the back of a very handsome head, Eric Dean, myself, Tom Garton. That's where business is done, my friends. And I'm so proud that we have so many contractors here. I want you to see you there as well. I want you to see it all around the country when I travel. I see some people out here that I see at every one of them, but the fact of the matter is, whether it's at a national forum or the local chamber of commerce, engage. People say I had a job before Impact came around. I realize that. The fact of the matter is, there are other methods and means where we can improve. Folks, you know what our message is? Training. It sells. We have bricks and mortar facilities. Those owners out there that are very, very concerned about filling their roles so that they can build their products don't know about it. Tell them. Face to face. Don't send an email. Don't send a text. Don't call them on the phone. Find them in your community, where you live. The local manufacturers association, the local chamber of commerce. It takes a little time, and I got news for you. After you get used to it, you start making friends, and those friends create jobs for the iron workers. Look at the numbers. We're proud of these numbers. Eric Dean cited these numbers. You need to cite those numbers. Again, I've said this many, many times before. I'm not Impact. These guys are not Impact. We are all Impact. The message must resound in every city and village in North America. We're safer, we're better trained, and we can prove it. These are the numbers I talked about earlier. We sat in a meeting years ago, and a good friend of mine, who's a major North American contractor, said, the Gulf Coast is dead. We're not going to see any work in the Gulf Coast. We're not going to bid work in the Gulf Coast. We're not there completely, but we're getting to the promised land, my friends. We're going to hit 2 million hours, and we're going to exceed 2 million hours. And you're probably thinking, Hilton, I could give two rips about the Gulf Coast. It has nothing to do with Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or New York City, or Boston, or Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Cincinnati, the list goes on, Seattle, Tacoma. It has everything to do with it, because that is the template. We've gotten more successful there out of the leadership of Vice President Ragsdale and Richard D. and their team. They drank the Kool-Aid, and they're reaping the successes. The numbers speak for themselves. And the absence of these efforts and the leadership of those great men, coupled with Teresa Magnus and her team, $16 million. $16 million in wages and fringes go to someone else. Oops. It's creeping. Slowly but steady, it's creeping. You'll hear in a breakout session later on this week, District Council President Bill Woodward, working in concert with General Vice President Bill Dean, creating the Woodward Initiative, where it's migrating around, creating the business plans, not a phrase to be concerned about, to create success. I know you want the success. It's a tactical change from what we're used to. I want you to hit that breakout session because it's important. And it'll yield the lessons. But if you can't, see one of these regional directors. See Teresa Magnus or Bruce Camrad. They would love to talk to you about it. Bill talked about some of the training we offer. It's real simple. Why do we do this? Why do we invest in training for our contractors? Because it's the right thing to do. No local union bids work. Their contractors do. If we're going to supply the safest, most productive iron workers, we're going to supply them with the best contractors that can go out there and compete anywhere, anytime, in any market. And they're not going to say, sorry, I can't get the job because I'm not low man. We're going to sell value. And you're going to hear about competitive advantage later on this morning. If you don't know what we do, hit our website, go into the programs tab, and watch one of these world-class webcasts, about 45 minutes. Get your lunch, sit down at your desk, pop this sucker open, and watch one of these things. If you need to know how to create a strategic plan or business plan, watch it. It's not going to give you an MBA, but it's going to open up your eyes. And then after you see it, share it with someone. It's there. You're paying for it. Don't leave it on the table. The other thing I'm going to leave you with, got 2 points, is this conference. This is not the be-all, end-all, but this is a business opportunity to engage. You know, I was so proud to walk through the exhibit hall yesterday and see our contractors exhibiting there. They want to show off to you because they want your guys on their jobs. Engage them. Take a few minutes to talk to them. Ask them what you can do for them and start the dialogue. This conference is a great, great opportunity. And I'm going to end with one quote. I looked up, you know, Thomas Edison was always inspiring. You know, he's a genius. And, you know, he talked about the fact that you got to be smart, but you got to have the grit. You got to have the determination like the Wright brothers. He said, being busy does not always mean real work. The object of all work is production or accomplishment, and to either of those ends, there must be forethought, system, planning, intelligence, and honest purpose, as well as perspiration. Seeming to do is not doing. That's not intended to insult anybody in this audience. It's intended to motivate you to take a look. Stand there on that mountain hill, Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Put yourself in those shoes and think, how can I innovate? Because I already got the determination. How can I innovate? How can I make the course correction to put more iron workers to work, to put more contractors in positions of success? Thank you very, very much for your time.